Aviation infrastructure in Africa is poor. That's the crux of discussions at the recently held International Civil Aviation Organization World Aviation Forum in Abuja. One of the fallout is that the Africa Development Bank partners with the International Air Transport Association in a memorandum of understanding to finance infrastructure on the continent. Here at home, we take on one of the airline operators who was at the forum, who insists one way to grow Nigeria's terminal infrastructure is to concession the terminals, but with a human face. Another major story on this edition is the effect of nature on flight schedules as Mount Agung in Indonesia leaves volcanic ash on flight paths. Welcome to Aviation This Week on Channels Television. I'm Bukola Jo Oketumbi.
Air transport has proven to be a catalyst for sustainable development. It impacts tourism and trade and generates socio-economic benefits which help eradicate poverty by creating jobs and enhancing air connectivity. In 2014, 49.2 million tons of cargo worth $6.4 trillion were handled by air. None of this would happen without aviation infrastructure, which includes airports, air traffic controls and aircraft, which are also important to accommodate this growing traffic. According to the International Civil Aviation Organization, states must develop quality and resilient aviation infrastructure compliant with the international requirements.
It is difficult for aviation stakeholders and even states to access financing to build or rehabilitate airports, telecommunications equipment, meteorology infrastructure, cargo warehouses, etc. And so there is no better opportunity than this conference for a thorough engagement on the whys and wherefores, but more importantly, the practical steps that are required to ensure that African aviation is not left behind in the growth story of world aviation.
A government-owned carrier, you can fly the flag, but the ownership structure, is companies have to be run privately to make them work. So that, and we're going to be helping in that. But also the government is very interested in the issue of playing a role for a hub, being a hub to be able to help with interconnectivity. And third is they've indicated their interest in having a maintenance, repair, and overhaul facility here in Nigeria. And they've asked us to also look at supporting them on air navigation facilities to improve it. I think these are all great areas, and we'll look forward to how we can support these areas in partnership with, obviously, others once they are well developed and had a chance to actually look at availability.
Thank you very much. Let me go to the...
Here, at the recent World Aviation Forum in Abuja, the International Civil Aviation Organization, as well as the International Air Transport Association, has called for planned, strategic, consistent and long-term funding of airport infrastructure in Africa in order to build capacity that would be able to process the increase in air travelers on the continent, projected to double from 120 million passengers in 2015 to 300 million by 2035. A call from this committee in Enugu State over the airport there is timely.
Akano Ibiam International Airport needs urgent intervention in two critical areas of infrastructure. One is the runway. There are airlines, international airlines, that would want to come to operate here, but they can't because of the quality of the runway. But we can't allow the runway to further deteriorate.
I think the problem with us is the will to move forward. The problem is us. And we keep talking about, we can go through it one by one. The Enugu airport, the Abuja runway. Kota will not put itself there. The asphalt will not put itself there. People have to put there at the right time so that we can fix it.
Now, aerodromes are not the only investment. Modernization of air traffic control and aircraft financing is key to the mix. With financing for carriers coming from export credit agencies, bank debt and capital markets, the role of leasing companies in supporting new commercial airline deliveries, both through direct purchases and sale leasebacks, is key into the future.
Our guest on the program says Nigeria can create a hub if its aviation infrastructure is modern and friendly. And one way to arrive at that point will be to concession the terminals.
There's no money in scheduled flight operations, and it's seriously capital intensive, but it provides a lot of jobs for people. The only people who enjoy airline business, government, because of the taxes you pay, and all the passenger charges they take from you. Then, of course, the staff. Of course, your bank. These three set of people are the ones that enjoy the business. The first thing government should address is the aviation infrastructure, airports and other ancillary things to go with them. Everything to do with the infrastructure, navigational aids, runway capacity, the airport terminal buildings, and everything to go with it. It's a whole package. I think this present government is trying to do the right thing, and I support them. They want to concession the airport. That's the right way to go. It's not about the federal government trying to repair all the airports or try to. It will still go back to square one. How about the manpower? How about their orientation? They have the civil service orientation. A situation where the airport staff do not regard the airlines as their customers. There's no service level agreement between us and the airports. No service level agreement. This concessioning, they shouldn't give it up. But at the same time, they should make sure the workers whose daily lives are dependent on these airports, who are already working, are taken into consideration when doing the concessioning. It is not difficult to find people who are ready to, take on them. We as the APs, we'll be ready to have one airport concession to us. And we partner government to bring the goodies. Concessioning does not mean the people must come from abroad. As they're getting the money, they're taking it out of this country. I don't want people to lose their jobs. I would like them to look at the workforce and take them, into consideration when doing this concessioning. But mind you, no investor wants to come and carry your baggage. A situation whereby you need about 200 staff because it's a government agency. You employ 6,000 people, for goodness sake. That is the recipe for disaster. The best airport terminal we have in this country today is MM2. And that is because it was concessioned to a private investor. So we should do that for all the airports in Nigeria. And it will generate more jobs effectively. Nobody will know. They are investors. They are investors. Even in some cases, some municipalities, they join together with private investors to create an airport, and those airports yield money, a lot of money. Billions will go to government. And it helps development when it's done properly. Look at Ghana. Ghana is trying to do something in that direction. Airline business should be a private thing. Government should not have anything to do with running airline, because there are a lot of leakages. I'm saying this out of my patriotic instinct as a Nigerian to help my country. Me as the owner and CEO and chairman of Airpeace, the fraud that is going under me, I can't even control it. And you see me at the airport, you see me everywhere, I don't sleep. I give 36 hours in a day to this job. Yet, some BS still happen. Airline does not give you the hub. It's the infrastructure you create that will create the hub. Who will want to come and land in Lagos? Is there anywhere conducive for you to stay for another 5 hours to catch another flight to anywhere? Nobody wants to come to Nigeria to transit through Nigeria. So we should go a step further. Develop our airports. Let them have semblance of what airports should be. And Nigeria will be a hub. Other airlines will even come here to be taken off from here and going to other places. Nigeria Airlines will do better. It will help their revenue.